cases to see if we were being biased in any way and could remove those.
And the group meets every second Wednesday of the month. Well, we are getting a first look at the newest St. Jude Dream Home. This rendering here was revealed today by Mark Bowling Construction. It's Topeka's third St. Jude Dream Home, and this spring you'll be able to enter for a chance to win this beautiful home. Every dollar, of course, goes straight to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital to fight cancer and other really serious illnesses. Watch for KSNT to give you that official start date when you can buy those tickets, and already sent more than $1 million to St. Jude because of the work in this community. So thank you for that. Well, products that women use in their hair every day could be linked to cancer. We'll tell you why researchers are saying that. That's still ahead on KSNT News at 5. First, Matt.
Seen some scattered cloud cover today, but not a significant amount of those clouds. When you take a look at the time-lapse view from our West Topeka weather cam, you can just see kind of overall how much of the day has been absolutely gorgeous. Temperatures warmed up pretty quickly through the day, even starting out well below freezing, topping out though into the 60s for a large part of the area. The cloud cover just now starting to make an increase. What else will be coming through tonight as far as that cloud cover is concerned? Coming up.
You're watching KSNT News at 5 with Brooke Lennington, Jay Smells, and Chief Meteorologist Matt Miller.
We all need a little help getting the morning going. That's why at McDonald's you get 2 sausage McMuffin sandwiches or 2 sausage biscuits for just $2. When you start the day with us, the morning really moves.
I could walk, but it was very painful. And then when Dr. Datillo went in and cleaned out the veins, I could walk and the pain was gone.
The pain that I had was limiting me to some of the things that I wanted to do. And I just went back to doing what I normally do. And I've had no problems whatsoever.
At Flint Hills Heart, Vascular and Vein Clinic, we specialize in making people's lives better.
What makes Cox panoramic Wi-Fi so smart?
Its new advanced technology automatically optimizes data routes around network congestion.
Huh? Meaning you get fast Wi-Fi.
No matter how many devices you have.
So say sayonara to lagging and buffering.
Hey, the more devices you have, the smarter your Wi-Fi needs to be.
And there's no smarter Wi-Fi than panoramic Wi-Fi.
We're all good together.
When it comes to accurately forecasting the weather, experience matters. When it comes to tracking dangerous storms, experience matters. And experience is what you get with the KSNT Storm Track Weather Team. Chief Meteorologist Matt Miller and Meteorologist David George, Gabriela Gomez, and Becky Taylor. The most experienced weather team in Northeast Kansas, forecasting the weather for a combined total of more than 60 years. KSNT Storm Track Weather, always watching, always tracking.
What comes with a $1 soft drink from McDonald's? $1 any size soft drink. Joy included.
The Downtown Topeka Weather Cam is sponsored by Briggs Subaru of Topeka.
Tonight, a new study is raising concerns about permanent hair dyes and chemical straighteners used by millions of women. It found a possible link between those products and an increased risk for breast cancer. KSNT News morning anchor Brittany Moore has the details.
From Hollywood to home salons, a third of American women color or straighten their hair. Well, now a new study out is raising concerns that a possible link between permanent hair dyes, chemical straighteners, and an increased risk of breast cancer is happening.
Women who reported using permanent hair dye or chemical straighteners had a higher risk of developing breast cancer over an 8-year follow-up period.
The study published in the International Journal of Cancer looked at more than 46,000 women. It finds white women who used permanent hair dye had a 7% increased breast cancer risk. Black women had a 45% increased risk.
One of our hypotheses is that the products marketed to dye black women's hair might be different than the products that are used for white women's hair.
Women who used chemical straighteners had an 18% increased risk. That jumped to 31% when the product was used every 5 to 8 weeks. But for now, the study's authors aren't advising women to stop using the products.
We know that a lot of different factors influence a woman's risk of developing breast cancer, including their weight and their diet and their physical activity, and so this is another factor that we need to consider.
But health experts do advise women to wear gloves during application, leave product on only as long as necessary, and rinse hair thoroughly, minimizing exposure as they work to better understand the risk here. Brittany Moore, KSNT News.
Well, more people are being injured from using their cell phones. Researchers from Rutgers University looked at hospital data from over 2,500 visits. They found that the number of cell phone-related injuries to the head and neck have increased over the past 20 years. Now, many were a result of distraction, if you can believe that. The most common injuries included lacerations and abrasions. Cell phone users between 13 and 29 made up almost 40% of those patients. And cases of vaping-related lung injuries have now been reported in every state. According to the latest data from the CDC, there are just under 2,300 cases in all 50 states. Cases have also been reported in Washington, D.C., Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. So far, 48 deaths have been confirmed in 25 states, including 2 in Kansas. Dashcam video shows a distracted driver coming in within inches of hitting a police officer. We'll tell you what authorities hope this footage will inspire people to do on the roads.
We have a cold front that'll be moving its way into the area later on tonight. Overall, temperatures will be falling back down through the 30s and eventually even perhaps into the upper 20s for some. But when you factor in the winds, it will certainly feel like, when you factor in that breeze, it'll feel like about 20 tomorrow morning. Much colder than what we've been seeing today, when an even stronger cold front comes our way coming up.
Health Check, sponsored by Flint Hills Heart, Vascular and Vein Clinic.
The 5th annual Wing Fling is Saturday, December 7th from 2 to 5 inside the Stormont Vale Event Center. Enjoy wings from local and national restaurants as they compete for the title of Wing Fling King. That's right, all you can eat wings. Heat up with live music from Topeka's classic rock band Departure. Play party games, chow down in the wing eating competition, or hang at the beer garden. All while you watch your favorite teams play on the big screen TV. Tickets are only $30 in advance. Wing Fling is sponsored by V100 and Fox 43 KTMJ.
This holiday season, Yak & Yarn has lots of gift ideas for anyone that knits, crochets, weaves, or does needlework. Choose from a variety of specialty yarns, including BB Rigolo yarn, direct from Italy, fun tote bags to carry supplies, wacky knitted socks, and beautiful yarn bowls to keep yarn from rolling around. And brand new to Yak & Yarn, stunning Polish pottery bowls, plates, crocks, and more. Can't decide? Purchase a gift certificate. Shop Yak & Yarn in Fairlawn Plaza Mall, 21st and Fairlawn, Topeka.
This holiday, it's easy to give everyone fresh gifts with Dillon's delivery and free pickup. Dillon's wishes everyone the freshest holiday season.
And the winner is Blind Tiger Brewery, Champion Brewmaster, and Champion Brewery, World Beer Cup 2014.
Our beer has always been the best in Topeka and in Kansas. Now we're the best in the world.
At the World Beer Cup 2014, we were presented the Gold Award for our Munich Dunkless, the Silver Award for our Maibach, World Champion Brewmaster, and World Champion Brewery.
We brew this delicious beer, not for the accolades, but because it's from our heart.
Indulge in fine craft beer. Blind Tiger. We have a passion for beer.
Friday, December 6th, the Topeka Pilots want to hear you roar. It will be a wild night of animals, a special intermission, and more. Plus, friends of the Topeka Zoo and members of the Kansas Children's Discovery Center get $5 tickets. For more information, go to www.topekazoo.org.
You've enjoyed his photographs with the newspaper. Now the Spotted Guy's photos are at KSNT.com. Check out our photo galleries today to see if you've been featured. Now, your Storm Track weather with Chief Meteorologist Matt Miller.
Beautiful weather today. Hopefully you had a chance to enjoy it, but if not, we still have some pretty good weather heading our way for the weekend. The only negative is going to be how much colder tomorrow will be. Maybe an isolated shower through the evening or overnight, but not much. Mainly just some clouds. Much cooler wind blows in tonight and through a good portion of the day tomorrow, but a pleasant weekend. Overall, the weekend does look really comfortable. And then our next front comes in Monday, bringing in an Arctic chill to the area with gusty north winds moving in as we head into the upcoming weekend. Hopefully you can get a chance to support TARC. They're in a kind of a crunch this year. The season is shorter for Winter Wonderland because Thanksgiving and New Year's are a little closer together. Running a little bit because of that below where they would normally want to be at this point. But still, 1,005 cars have made their way through. Hopefully you get a chance, though, to get out there. Great weekend weather. No excuse not to get out and enjoy Winter Wonderland's drive-through lights display. Clouds are starting to build in at Mayetta as well as Emporia, now becoming mostly cloudy and partly to mostly cloudy in Topeka as well. Current air temperature is still 59 degrees. It is calm. It is really nice out there to start the evening. Made it up to 63 despite a chilly 28 this morning, way above the average of 25 and 45. So looking at comfortable weather for the next few hours, but a cold front will be entering in and bringing in chillier weather. Right now, primarily into the 50s, still a couple spots at 60, and that light and variable wind will gradually take on a north direction. It will pick up even by about 10, 11, 11:30. The winds are up to anywhere from 13 to 18 miles per hour, may at times hit 20 miles per hour during the night, and still running about 10 to 15 in the morning. And that'll be a cold wind, but fortunately, the winds will be letting up in time for the Manhattan Christmas parade tomorrow evening. We'll be out there. Come out and see us for that, and the winds will be light. It will be chilly, but it won't be cold and windy during the evening hours tomorrow. That's going to be tonight. During the night, those cold winds blow in, the wind chills fall into the 20s. Stays chilly during the day tomorrow with wind chills in the upper 30s, but not brutally cold air in place. Scattered clouds still spreading in. This disturbance moving across western Kansas right now. That'll slide to the east. It's kind of fizzling out as it approaches. It'll give us the cloud cover. It will drive the cold front through the area, but those clouds will gradually clear on out. We'll be left with lots of sunshine as we head into your Friday. Looking at a low temperature tonight of 31 with north winds 10 to 20. It will certainly feel a lot colder, and then a high of 42 tomorrow. North breezes still around 10 to 15. Heading into the next few days after that, we're back into the 50s for Saturday and sunshine. A little bit more cloud cover Sunday and 55. Could see a few rain or snow showers around on Monday as that next blast of colder air starts to move in. We'll be looking at this large area of cold air up north sliding in Monday into Monday night. On into Tuesday, it kind of grips the area. The worst of it stays to the north, but we still get a pretty decent amount of cooling out of that as temperatures fall back into the 30s for several days next week. And overnight low temperatures will be down into the teens and 20s. Any chance for precipitation will be just as the front's coming in, as some rain or snow showers around as we head into the daytime on Monday. As we get yesterday evening sunset, this one sent our way from Leonard and Irene Cardwell, taken in Shawnee County, and then one down to the south from Tim Wecker near Olpe, also of yesterday evening sky, and the morning sunrise as viewed in Manhattan from Tad Thompson. I know a lot of people asking me on Facebook, when is Lola going to be back in? She's been out at the parade. She'll probably be at tomorrow's parade in Manhattan if you want to get a chance to see her in person. And
clearly she's not interested in being on camera
No,
today.
she's actually just wanting to lick my hand.
What'd you put on there?
I had baking gloves on earlier.
Yeah.
I think she thinks I did. But she's back on tonight, so everyone gets their answer.
And we all will be at the parade in Manhattan. We're looking forward to that. It's 5:30 down Points and then through Triangle Park for the lighting ceremony. So look forward to seeing everybody.
And you can see these little legs going right here.
There you go. An officer's quick reaction may have saved his life, and it was all caught on camera. We'll tell you why police are sharing this video next.
Warm up your home at Slumberland's After Thanksgiving sale, but hurry, it ends Saturday. Get this beautiful sofa with 2 accent pillows for just $3.98. Most items can be in your home in 1 week. The After Thanksgiving sale ends Saturday at Slumberland Furniture.
Longhorn's Turf and Surf. How do you take the greatest, juiciest steak on land to the next level? Ed Lobster. Or as we like to call it, the steak of the sea. Hurry in tonight for Longhorn's Turf and Surf, the original Flo's filet and lobster tail, and for a limited time, our sirloin and lobster shrimp mac and cheese, and our crab cake filet. That's how steak is done. Longhorn Steakhouse, you can't fake steak.
Yes. Choir, sing.
clapping now. Happy Honda Days is on now. Unwrap the joy of a new Pilot from the 2019 KBB.com Best Overall Brand. That's all right.
Our nation's families are struggling against rising college costs. Will your children or grandchildren be able to say yes to college? I'm Jake LaTurner, your Kansas treasurer. This holiday season, consider a different kind of gift, the gift of education. Learn more about a Learning Quest 529 education savings account. Find out more at learningquest.com.
Merry Christmas!
From our family to yours.
Gus had his tongue sticking out the whole time.
At the Kansas State University Veterinary Health Center, we strive to prevent disease, treat the ill, and search for new cures.
And what we have to offer is the same services that any general practice would offer: general routine care, physical exams, dental work, to emergency work. I love just getting around, family atmospheres when I'm out on even farm calls. Almost kind of become a part of the family.
And you wonder why you're so tired every night. The best price in town is at Slumberland. Like right now, get this incredibly comfy Sealy Posturepedic Queen mattress for just $394. The Thanksgiving mattress sale at Slumberland Furniture.
A Midwest police officer is recovering and a teenager is facing charges after a scary crash on the freeway, and it was all caught on dash cam. Officers hope sharing this video will inspire people to slow down and put their phones away. Reporter Melody Mercado has the story.
While laying out safety cones in I-235, a highway helper notices a car racing towards him. He's able to dive out of the way just in time, the car narrowly missing him. Spinning out of control, the car hits a police vehicle, knocking it into an officer who was trying to run out of the way. The officer was responding to a broken-down truck who needed assistance replacing a tire.
We had an operator that was working the area. She was watching on camera as it occurred, and it was very emotional.
The officer was taken to the hospital and later released with an arm injury. The driver sustaining minor injuries, and according to the DOT, the highway helper is walking away from the incident with just a gash on his knee, something that easily could have been fatal.
This is why those move-over laws exist. You need to move over and slow down because you've got our first responders out here trying to help people, and the last thing they need is somebody running into them.
The move-over law enacted in 2002 requires drivers to move over or slow down for stopped emergency and utility vehicles. Violation of this law results in a fee or license suspension. In this particular case, according to the Iowa Department of Transportation's website, the driver's license can be suspended for 180 days, and this motorist can be subjected to an additional fine of $500 for causing bodily injury.
And they're putting their lives at stake to be out there to help the traveling public. And I think people need to realize that these people are real people who need to make it home just like they're trying to make it home.
The DOT is hoping their video will inspire motorists to slow down, put their phones away, get rid of distractions, and pay attention to their surroundings.
Melody Mercado reporting there. Kansas also has that move-over law, so keep that in mind. A few men say they have broken a record in getting across the country. We'll tell you how they managed to get across the U.S. in less than 2 days, they claim. Plus, things are about to get a little bit colder. We'll check in with Matt to see when we can expect, or what we can expect when we leave for school and work tomorrow. Here's a live look at the State House. We'll be right back.
You've worked hard to get here. It might not look like it right this second, but you did. Really hard. The early mornings, the late nights, sun up to sundown. But now, most of the sacrifices are behind you. You can enjoy what you've built. Really enjoy it. This is what the good life is all about. So no matter what your idea of the good life looks like, Protect it with Medicare Advantage from Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas. We help you keep the life you've worked for simply covered. With monthly premiums starting as low as $0, we have a range of benefits to choose from. Our portfolio of plans means you can get the right fit for you. Call now to see which option fits your lifestyle the best. Medicare Advantage from Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas. Protect the good life.
Amazing deals are going on now during Menards Christmas catalog sale. Keep your vehicle running great this winter with Gasline Antifreeze. Formulated to remove moisture and prevent freezing. Get 2 bottles for $1. Master Force has the tools you need to get the job done. This quick lift floor jack has a 5 3/4 to 19 5/8 lifting range. $99.99. Plus, give the perfect gift this Christmas with a Menards gift card.
Warm season's greetings to you all from Menards.
Bring all the gifts for under the tree. And while you're at it, bring the tree. Ford F-150. Built for the holidays.
Now get 20% estimated savings on F-150. Plus, complimentary maintenance through Ford Pass Rewards. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Good evening, everyone. Reporting from here on the ground. Santa Ana winds are very strong. Fire has grown leaps and bounds since it broke out.
Do you feel like you're giving a green light to politicians?
No.
Lie.
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
All right, so get this. 3 men claim they've driven from New York to L.A. in just over a day. These guys started their drive, they say, in New York at 12:57 a.m. on November 11th. They say they pulled into their beach hotel in 27 hours and 25 minutes later. I'm guessing that is a picture of them moving. I don't know. If their claim is true, that means that they've beaten the previous record for a cross-country trip, which is 28 hours and 50 minutes. They say their highest speed, 193 miles an hour, but they averaged about 103 miles an hour. Wow. Adding that they used almost 20 scouts to avoid the police. Whoops.
Yeah, so the whole cannonball run thing, is what that's all based around, and they try to do that. I was reading a story of some people who tried to break this record. And again, it's inherently you're breaking the law to do it.
Right.
So there's that. But the weird thing about it is just like filling up with gas is such a time-consuming part of it. So they end up like filling their entire back of their car with extra tanks of gas, and they're essentially having to breathe fumes
seems a little dangerous.
Yeah, there's a lot of danger in the speed alone. But also,
there is another way to get across the country pretty quickly, and that's through airplane.
That's right.
Wonderful
invention. You might want to check into that one if you're really in a crunch. Temperature tonight falling back down to 31. North winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Cool day tomorrow. Partly cloudy in the morning, clear in the afternoon, 42. But a chilly day overall. Should be a nice weekend with low to mid 50s. And then a much stronger front comes in on Monday. 41 and falling temperatures and much colder lows early next week.
All right. Well, thank you for being with us tonight.
Have a great night.
When you're in the need to get rid of bugs, indeed, call Ozark Integrated Pest Services. We'll arrive on time and get the job done right. Our guys are prepared, trained, and ready to work. Call us at 785-234-2290.
Tonight, several breaking stories as we come on the air. The wild chase of UPS truck hijacked. The driver held hostage. The high-speed pursuit moments after a victim was hurt in a jewelry store heist. The images just coming in. The dramatic takedown. Officers opening fire in traffic and late word of the driver. Also breaking, the Black Hawk military chopper crashing in Minnesota. 3 National Guardsmen on board. Late details tonight. The search for a motive in the deadly shooting at Pearl Harbor. A U.S. Navy sailor killing 2 civilian workers, wounding a 3rd before turning the gun on himself, is what we've now learned. Historic move by Speaker Nancy Pelosi, ordering articles of impeachment drawn up against President Trump. And the heated moment, a reporter asking Pelosi, do you hate the president?
So don't mess with me when it comes to words like that.
The president daring Democrats to impeach him fast. Couldn't happen by Christmas. Our NBC from its own safety report, but it reveals a staggering number of sexual assaults due to
Partner with the
safe
driver
and cell phone putting their safety at risk. The striking number of
This is NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good evening, everyone. There are several stories breaking as we come on the air tonight. We start near Miami, where a violent robbery turned hostage drama turned wild chase in a carjacked UPS truck ended just a short time ago in a flurry of bullets in the middle of rush hour traffic. The van surrounded by police as the bullets flew. All of it aired locally on live television. Morgan Chesky with what we know so far.
Tonight, gunfire after a frightening chase through the middle of Miami rush hour traffic and armed robbery turned carjacking of a UPS truck. Police say it started when two men robbed a Coral Gables jewelry store, only the owner had other plans, opening fire on the suspects who shot back, injuring at least one bystander.
This is what dangerous people do to get away, and this is what people will do to avoid capture.
Just minutes later, a confirmed carjacking. The suspects allegedly holding a UPS driver at gunpoint before taking control. For half an hour, the men led police on a chase through northern Miami, dodging traffic, driving down sidewalks, and swerving past countless cars. At one point, the suspects even drove through a neighborhood barricade as dozens of police cruisers tried to close in. Their run from the law ended nearly 30 miles later in a hail of gunfire. Police swarming the UPS truck after blocking off nearby streets. And just minutes ago, Miramar police, a suburb of Miami, have said that multiple people died in this carjacking. But tonight, they're not going into detail about whether that involved the suspects or the condition of that UPS driver. Lester?
All right, Morgan Chesky in Miami tonight. Thank you. Also breaking this evening, the crash of an Army National Guard Black Hawk helicopter in Minnesota. Ron Mott has late details. Ron, what do we know about this?
Hey there, Lester. Unfortunately, it looks like this is a tragic end to a search that has been going on all afternoon. You can see the wreckage there in the snow. Officials say 3 Minnesota National Guard soldiers were on that flight. They were conducting a maintenance test flight that had lifted off from the St. Cloud airport and lost communication shortly after 2 o'clock, making a Mayday call 9 minutes into the flight. Radio transmissions indicate rescuers zeroed in on this crash site by tracking cell phone pings from some of the occupants on that helicopter. There is no official word yet tonight on the condition or identities of those aboard, Lester.
All right, Ron Mott, thanks for the update. Now to Hawaii and the deadly shooting at Pearl Harbor, where a gunman opened fire, killing 2 and injuring a 3rd victim. Tonight, we're learning more about that gunman. Miguel Almaguer is there and has late details.
Gunfire triggering panic and terror at Pearl Harbor. Police and medical teams racing to the scene of an active shooter just after 2 p.m. on Wednesday. The U.S. military base locked down.
We want to help, obviously, but we can't. So that's probably like the worst part.
A sailor opening fire on 3 civilians, killing 2 before taking his own life. A witness describing the scene to NBC affiliate KHNL.
I heard like loud pops and I looked out the window, saw 3 people on the ground.
The Navy identifying the shooter only as a male sailor, who law enforcement sources say carried out the attack with his service weapons. With motive still unclear, the Navy says the shooter was assigned to this nuclear submarine, the USS Columbia, docked at the shipyard for maintenance. The carnage unfolding across the harbor from the iconic World War II memorial.
Our sincere thoughts are with the families of the victims and everyone involved.
Tara Capoy telling the AP her husband Vincent Capoy Jr. is one of the 2 civilians killed, with a 3rd victim in stable condition. This is the latest deadly rampage on a U.S. military base. Tonight in Hawaii, as they prepare to mark the 78th anniversary of its darkest day, tragedy has struck Pearl Harbor again.
With the base here at Pearl Harbor back to normal operations, there has been no impact to the nearby memorial. Meantime, investigators are interviewing several witnesses and trying to speak to family and friends close to the suspect. Lester, tonight there remains no official motive.
All right, Miguel, thank you. History unfolding tonight as Democrats take a dramatic and material step toward impeaching President Trump. With the president even today clinging to his mantra that it's all a hoax, a deadly serious, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was directing House leaders to start drafting articles of impeachment. Peter Alexander has late details.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi tonight wielding the power of her office in an effort to remove the president from his.
Today, I am asking our chairman to proceed with articles of impeachment.
Pelosi echoing the words of the founding fathers, saying President Trump's alleged wrongdoing strikes at the heart of the Constitution.
Our democracy is what is at stake. The president leaves us no choice but to act because he is trying to corrupt, once again, the election for his own benefit.
3, 2, 1. The president tonight celebrating the season while counting down the days to his likely impeachment that could come before Christmas.
It's a hoax. It's a hoax. It's a big fat hoax.
Earlier, defiantly challenging Democrats to move quickly, tweeting, "If you're going to impeach me, do it now, fast, so we can have a fair trial in the Senate, and so that our country can get back to business." Tonight, the White House is aggressively gearing up for an impeachment trial early next year in the Republican-controlled Senate, where the president and his allies are confident he would be acquitted.
The Speaker gave a speech on national television to push forward her rushed and partisan impeachment.
The president today reiterating his demand that many key Democrats be called to testify, including House Intelligence Chairman Adam Schiff and Joe Biden, who today confronted an Iowa voter who questioned his age and accused him of having sold access to the White House, claiming Biden sent his son to serve on the board of a Ukrainian energy company.
You're selling access to the president just like he was. So
You're a damn liar, man. That's not true. And no one has ever said that? No one has heard that?
I see it on the TV.
You see it on the TV. No, I know you do. And by the way, that's why I'm not sedentary. Let's do push-ups together here, man. Let's run. Let's do whatever you want to do.
Also bristling at a question today, Speaker Pelosi, as she was leaving a news conference, asked by a reporter whether she hates the president.
I don't hate anybody. I was raised in a Catholic house. We don't hate anybody. I pray for the president all the time. So don't mess with me when it comes to words like that.
Tonight, House Democrats are still debating whether those articles of impeachment should be limited to the president's dealings with Ukraine or broadened out to include what they call a pattern of obstruction that takes into account the findings of the Mueller report. Lester?
Peter, thank you. It's being called one of the biggest bank robbery schemes of the past decade, and tonight federal prosecutors have charged two men in Russia with running it. Pete Williams has details.
Operating from inside Russia, federal prosecutors say tonight, these two men, Maxim Yakubets and Igor Turashev, targeted thousands of victims, vacuuming millions out of their bank accounts.
Yakubets is a true 21st century criminal who, with the stroke of a key and the click of a mouse, committed cyber crimes across the globe.
Prosecutors say they stole $3.5 million from a Pennsylvania oil company, which eventually managed to get the money back. But most victims weren't so lucky. An order of nuns in Illinois lost $24,000. The hackers focused on small businesses and city and county governments. In all, investigators say U.S. victims in 11 states lost $70 million. Worldwide, say officials in the U.S. and England, the hackers hit more than 300 organizations in 43 countries.
There is real-world harm where people's life savings, people's companies are being compromised by these individuals.
The U.S. is offering a $5 million reward for information that leads to the capture of Yakubets, who's safely living in Moscow, and U.S. authorities say the Russians aren't doing much to help in arresting him. Pete Williams, NBC News, Washington.
This was a tense and violent day in France. Much of the country shut down by massive
tear gas, fire and fury in Paris as the biggest French strike in decades descended into violence. Riot police firing stun grenades at protesters. Central Paris again a battleground. Nearly 1 million marched in 40 cities. Police officers and doctors joining garbage collectors and opera singers. Public sector workers angry at pension reforms pushed by the French President Emmanuel Macron. Transport across France stopped. Schools and the Eiffel Tower closed. American tourists hit.
I feel a little bit frustrated, and I spent a lot of money.
Echoes today of the violence of last year's Yellow Vest protests. Protesters tonight threatening to cripple the country and the economy. More strikes are planned tomorrow, more protests Saturday. This is a battle of wills that could make or break the French government and its president. Lester?
Bill Neely in Paris tonight. Thank you. A disturbing photo has led to the suspension of a number of government employees in West Virginia. The image shows a training class of about 30 correctional officers appearing to give a Nazi salute. Governor Jim Justice condemned the photo and has ordered the firing of everyone found to be involved. Now our NBC News exclusive tonight on ride-sharing giant Uber. After years of being dogged by safety concerns and sexual assault allegations against some of the drivers, the company is going public. Here tonight with what it calls a comprehensive report addressing those concerns and vowing new action. Here's Stephanie Gosk with that.
Uber upended how we get from point A to point B. But as the rideshare company has grown, so too have accounts like this.
I was basically taken for 2.5 hours in an Uber car with, the next day I had defensive wounds. I told my mom and my sister and they were just like, no, that's sexual assault.
Tonight, for the first time, Uber is publicly releasing its own data on sexual assaults. Over the course of 2017 and 2018, the company received nearly 6,000 reports of incidents during or after Uber rides, ranging from groping to rape. Roughly 4 reported rapes every week, 1 in every 5 million rides.
That's a hard number, but I'm not surprised. And I'm not surprised because sexual violence is just much more pervasive in society than I think most people realize.
Tony West is Uber's chief legal officer, spearheading the study released today, together with input from sexual violence advocates. I was surprised to read that about half of the victims are riders and the other half are drivers.
That's right. And so this is not just a one-sided problem. We have to keep in mind that both drivers and riders are victims.
According to the study, Uber is aware of law enforcement's involvement in 37% of the reported rape cases. That number seems kind of low to me. Just 37%?
I'll tell you, one of the facts about sexual assault is that it is a very underreported offense. Uber shouldn't make that choice for survivors. Survivors should make that choice for themselves.
It also opens up the possibility that Uber is aware of someone who potentially raped someone else who's out in the public without involving law enforcement.
As someone who is a former law enforcement official, I understand the tension. We have lots of information about an incident that we will share with law enforcement if we get the consent of the victim.
Uber's study reveals that more than 40,000 drivers were banned in the U.S. in the last 2 years as part of continuous background checks for a variety of reasons, including sexual misconduct. Uber announcing tonight they plan to share those names with other rideshare companies. What do you hope to show with these numbers over the years?
We hope to see and hope to learn a number of things. I think first, we want to raise awareness. The other thing we want to show is that we're developing best practices.
Among new safety features, Uber is adding the ability to text 911 from the app, unique PIN codes for rides, and on-trip reporting. Were there ever any internal conversations where people said, this could hurt our business, these numbers?
Sure there were. It was hard. But it's important for us to push through that discomfort and to talk about these issues. And Uber couldn't simply ignore what was happening on its platform. And most importantly, we have to then address it.
Stephanie, I know this study addresses issues beyond sexual assault safety. What else does it look at?
Uber looks at fatalities as well, Lester. They found 107 deaths because of crashes over this 2-year period, according to their own comparison. They also tell us that they're going to do a study just like this every 2 years to compare the data.
All right, Stephanie Goss, thank you.
You're welcome.
Another story about your safety tonight, alarming findings from the first study to look at head and neck injuries caused by cell phone use. They've risen sharply over the last 2 decades. Gabe Gutierrez on the mobile menace.
Don't look now, but a new study finds this is happening more and more. People tripping and falling while distracted by their cell phones.
Why do you walk and text at the same time?
We're just busy.
Researchers from Rutgers found that cell phone-related head and neck injuries like these have risen sharply, more than 200% in the last 20 years. The study estimates the total number of injuries is 76,000 nationwide.
I saw patients, multiple patients, who had injuries, and I would ask them why. They're like, Doc, I wasn't paying attention. I was on my phone.
The study found that most of the injuries were associated with texting while walking. Now, cell phone-related head and neck injuries were relatively rare until about 2007. That's the year the first iPhone was released.
The most common, deep cuts, bruises, and even internal organ injuries. They happen most often among young people, ages 13 to 29, some who were playing Pokemon Go.
You can really hurt yourself on a simple trip and fall. It doesn't have to be getting hit by a car.
So the next time you're on the go, just remember, pay attention, or you could end up like this. Gabe Gutierrez, NBC News, New York.
All right, just ahead tonight, alarming new concerns about drones after a drone was struck in mid-air, forced to make an emergency landing in what could have been a disaster. Why a boy invited his entire kindergarten class to a very special day in court is tonight on Inspiring America.
Before we talk about tax-smart investing, what's new?
Well, Audrey's expecting.
Twins. Grandparents.
We want to put money aside for them, so change in plans.
All right, let's see what we can adjust. We'd be closer to the twins.
Change in plans.
Okay.
Mom, are you painting again? You could sell these.
Let me guess. Change in plans?
We rent this cabin every year.
That's perfect for us. Affordable, convenient, just what we need.
Like our wireless service, Consumer Cellular. We get everything we need at a really great price.
Consumer Cellular offers talk, text, and data for as low as $20 a month, and they've received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 7 times in a row.
Switching was easy. We even kept our phones and numbers.
And more of our money.
Make the switch to Consumer Cellular. Call, go online, or find us at Target.
Skip to the good part with Alka-Seltzer Plus, now with 25% more concentrated power. Nothing works faster for powerful cold relief.
Oh, what a relief it is.
So fast.
I'm your mother-in-law, and I like to question your every move. Like this left turn.
It's the next one.
You always drive this slow.
How did you make someone I love?
That must be why you're always so late.
I do not speed, and that's saving me cash with DriveWise.
Yeah, my son, he did say that you were the safe option.
And that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
So get Allstate.
Stop bossing.
Where good drivers save 40% for avoiding mayhem like me. It's my son's favorite color. You should try it. You always drive like an old lady.
You're an old lady.
We're back now with a very close call for a TV news helicopter that collided in mid-flight with what appears to have been a drone. Here's Tom Costello.
Grounded in Los Angeles, a KABC helicopter with the hole ripped in its tail assembly. The FAA says the chopper was flying at 1,100 feet when the crew suddenly heard a loud bang.
Didn't really know what it was, and we just assumed it was a bird. When we got on the ground, though, it was a different story.
Had the suspected drone taken out the rotor, the chopper could have crashed. The LAPD tweeted, "This could have been a disaster." Nationwide, there are now 1.5 million registered drones required to stay below 400 feet and at least 5 miles from an airport. Yet nearly 1,200 aircraft reported drone sightings in just the first half of the year, keeping firefighting aircraft grounded during California wildfires. In 2016, a suspected drone slammed into a British Airways passenger jet preparing to land. In 2017, a drone hit a military helicopter in New Jersey.
This tiny speck in the sky, a drone.
Last December, a rogue drone forced 1,000 flights to be grounded in London. While 70% of drones today have geofencing software to keep them out of restricted airspace, the drone industry says it's really up to drone pilots to obey the rules of the sky. Lester?
Tom Costello. Up next for us, the astounding price of
Friction points. Those obstacles that limit a company's growth. I try to find companies that turn these challenges into opportunities. But by going out in the field and meeting management, suppliers, competitors, in the end, it's these unique companies with creative business models that will generate value for our investors. That's why I go beyond the numbers.
Dr. Bob, what should I take for back pain? Before you take anything, I recommend applying topical relievers first. Salonpas lidocaine patch blocks pain receptors for effective non-addictive relief. Salonpas lidocaine patch, roll-on, or cream.
Why do wrinkles happen at the worst times? Showing up here, here, and even here. With new Bounce Rapid Touch-Up Spray, you can fight wrinkles anywhere. Spray, smooth, and you're fresh and ready to go wherever you are. New Bounce Rapid Touch-Up Spray. Bounce out wrinkles anywhere.
Yes. Choir, sing. Joy to the world. Come on. Don't stop clapping now. Joy to
Happy Honda Days is on now. Unwrap the joy of a new CR-V, the best-selling CUV over the past decade.
That's all right. All right, up next for us tonight, the new top banana in the art world. It's sold for a staggering amount, but as Harry Smith tells us, opinions on it are split.
A picture popped up on our screens today, and we're sorry, we just can't seem to peel our eyes away. Because what you're looking at, and this is no slip of the tongue, is art. And it just sold for north of $100,000 at the big Art Basel gathering in Miami. Many an artist was misunderstood in their lifetimes. Van Gogh, yes, the Van Gogh, only sold one painting ever. Maybe we're missing something with the banana and duct tape, like an unfathomable metaphor about the banana that decays, but the tape, as any do-it-yourselfer knows, pretty much lasts forever. Still, we have a few questions. As the banana rots, does the art appreciate or depreciate? If I go home and make my own banana and duct tape art, does that mean I'm an artist? Only if you get paid for it. Harry Smith, NBC News.
Some deep thoughts there. Up next, an amazing day for one young boy with all his friends there to celebrate.
Skip to the good part with Alka-Seltzer Plus, now with 25% more concentrated power. Nothing works faster for powerful cold relief.
Oh, what a relief it is. So fast.
It's taking so long.
Mom? Dad?
This holiday, give the gift of WeatherTech. From our laser-measured floor liners, a cargo liner, Christmas tree mat, and cup phone to secure your phone in virtually any vehicle. This season, order the perfect gift at WeatherTech.com. And don't forget WeatherTech gift cards.
Do you have concerns about mild memory loss related to aging? Prevagen is the #1 pharmacist-recommended memory support brand. You can find it in the vitamin aisle in stores everywhere. Prevagen, healthier brain, better life.
Heading into retirement, you want to follow your passions. Bright House Smart Care is a hybrid life insurance and long-term care product. It protects your family while providing long-term care coverage should you need it. Talk to your advisor. Bright House Financial. Build for what's ahead.
Cologuard, colon cancer screening for people 50 and older at average risk.
I've heard a lot of excuses to avoid screening for colon cancer.
I'm not worried. It doesn't run in my family. I can do it next year. No rush.
Cologuard is the non-invasive option that finds 92% of colon cancers. You just get the kit in the mail, go to the bathroom, collect your sample, then ship it to the lab. There's no excuse for waiting. Get screened.
Ask your doctor if Cologuard is right for you. Covered by Medicare and most major insurers.
Good evening, everyone. Reporting from here on the ground. Santa Ana winds are very strong. Fire has grown leaps and bounds since it broke out.
Do you feel like you're giving a green light to politicians?
No,
lie.
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
The KSNT Storm Track Weather Cam Network, a live exclusive look at weather across Northeast Kansas, providing you advance warning of changing conditions. The KSNT Storm Track Weather Cam Network, sponsored by Prairie Band Casino and Resort.
Finally tonight, the day one boy has been waiting for and the friends he brought along. Here's Kevin Tibbles.
It was a field trip unlike any other. School children in Kent County, Michigan, all invited down to the local courthouse.
Welcome to the courthouse on this amazing day.
To attend a very special hearing. It was Adoption Day in family court. In all, 37 foster children united with their new families.
There's so many emotional stories.
With paper hearts in hand, the friends of 8-year-old Michael Clark Jr. came to celebrate right along with him. He's been with his foster parents for about a year. Today, they are one.
You know, we asked him and he was just like, you know, the class is kind of my family.
Tonight, one special group of kids have found their forever parents.
We were just kind of thinking, how can we build our...
I love my mommy.
And there's so many options, right, for building a family these days.
And one boy's classmates have learned an important lesson about love and commitment. Kevin Tibbles, NBC News.
How can that one not get you, huh? That's Nightly News. I'm Lester Holt. Good night, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Breaking news tonight.
Lester Holt.
The Iranian from here on the ground. We begin tonight with
the most trusted TV news anchor in America.
That's Nightly News. I'm Lester.
Now, your Storm Track forecast first.
Cloud cover building in over the area. More recently, in the last hour to hour and a half, it is completely filled in with cloudy conditions, and we'll hold on to those mostly cloudy skies through a good portion of the night, falling out of the 40s and eventually into the 30s. But also during the course of the night, the wind begins to pick up and becomes much more of a wind chill issue heading into the early hours tomorrow. How long those north winds will be blowing through, that's coming up.
Now on KSNT News.
Hundreds of thousands of families could soon be without food stamps, and it's causing some controversy on Capitol Hill.
Frankly, they should be ashamed of themselves.
This is about believing in the opportunity of individuals to move to work.
We find out which groups of people would be impacted by new work requirements. Plus, it's not your typical workout. We'll tell you what has this local woman doing burpees everywhere but the gym. Good evening to you, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jace Mills here with Chief Meteorologist Matt Miller. We saw another really nice day today, Matt, but things could be changing.
Yeah, we have two cold fronts to deal with. One tonight that'll certainly bring in a very different feel to the air tomorrow. What have we got out there? You take a look at the time lapse from our Emporia weather cam, is that increasing cloud cover right as the sun started to go down. And that cloudy sky, part of that changing weather that's unfolding across the area. We're starting to see some cooler temperatures down to 50 currently at Marysville, 49 for Forbes Field. Lawrence is back to 48, and a pair of 55 readings at both Manhattan and Junction City. But what will happen over the next few hours, yes, the clouds are rolling in, but this northerly wind developing, that is going to be the real big changing factor in our weather. That's going to pull in some colder air from up north. Those northerly breezes in and of themselves will have a bit of a chill to them because of the speed we expect them to pick up to tonight. We'll see the winds pick up from a few miles per hour up to about 16, 17 sustained wind. And that's just strong enough when you have temperatures falling into the lower 30s to make it for a very chilly start to the day tomorrow. Fortunately, the wind will let up as we head toward the late afternoon and evening hours. But tonight, north winds 10 to 20, mostly cloudy, and 31 for the low, and only topping out at 42. A good 20-degree drop from what we saw today to what we'll see tomorrow afternoon. It will be noticeably chillier, but that doesn't mean the weekend's a loss. Should have some nice weather returning. How long that round of nice weather will stick around coming up.
Well, new tonight, more than 6 million middle school and high school students are using tobacco products. That's according to a national survey from the CDC. They released that research today. The survey found 1 in 3 high school students and 1 in 8 middle school students are using tobacco. Now, they counted students who used the product at least once in the past month. The CDC says for the 6th year in a row, e-cigarettes were the most commonly used tobacco products among students. And board members with Topeka Public Schools are actually talking about e-cigarettes tonight. They're discussing joining a lawsuit aimed at e-cigarette maker Juul. We told you last month that they heard from an attorney encouraging the board to join other Kansas districts in that suit. The suit alleges that Juul marketed to kids, something the company has denied. Now, the 501 board meeting got underway at 5:30 tonight. Last night, the Manhattan-Ogden School Board also voted to join that lawsuit. College campuses in Kansas are seeing a spike in the amount of students with anxiety and depression. K-State Vice President for Student Life, Thomas Lane, says the university has seen a 14% increase in student counseling sessions. They've also seen a 3% increase in crisis appointments. That's when a student feels like hurting themselves or others. Lane says K-State spends about $1 million on counseling services, and students are still waiting about 3 weeks to see a counselor. It's something that he hopes lawmakers will consider as they return to the State House next month.
Well, I think as we're thinking about resources to higher education, I would hope that student well-being would be one of those important factors that they consider in terms of how they decide to allocate resources. I think it's a really important issue.
And Lane says K-State is currently looking into staffing changes and a partnership with a company to improve their services. New at 6, we're learning more about a house fire that destroyed a local home. Last month, the fire engulfed a home on Southwest Urish Road a few miles outside of Auburn. Just tonight, investigators at the Kansas Fire Marshal's office told us the fire caused $200,000 worth of damage, but they aren't exactly sure what caused that fire. Investigators say it could be another few weeks until that happens. Local farmers say they're trying to make sure that the agriculture industry is sustainable going forward. The Kansas Farmers Union is holding its state convention in Lawrence. Members say they're concerned about the high number of people leaving rural America and choosing to live in bigger cities. They're also talking about how the history of farm bills and government programs have impacted how many people are staying on the farm.
Contributing more significantly to the depopulation of rural America and exodus of farms and farmers getting bigger. And so is that a good thing? Well, pure economists would probably say yes. But is it good for the community? Is it good for your rural quality of life? Is it good for your children or your grandchildren?
Speakers say that many farmers have been hurt by national policies for the last 3 decades. And hundreds of thousands of people who rely on food stamps could soon go without. The U.S. Department of Agriculture finalized new work requirement rules. KSNT Washington correspondent Raquel Martin sat down with one top official to find out what those are.
The Trump administration is moving ahead with new food stamp work requirements that could strip food assistance from nearly 700,000 Americans. And some Democrats on Capitol Hill are outraged.
Frankly, they should be ashamed of themselves.
Senator Sherrod Brown says it's an attack on the country's poorest citizens.
Thousands of people who mostly have jobs that are working at $8 and $10 and $12 an hour will lose some of the help they get to feed their families.
The rule change will affect able-bodied men and women 18 through 49 who don't have children. The rule restricts states from extending benefits beyond 90 days to those who don't work at least 20 hours a week. Brandon Lips, who oversees the food stamp program at the U.S. Department of Agriculture, says the safety net is still there.
States have the option to exempt 12% of their population. Individuals don't have to go to work tomorrow. They can get 3 months of benefits without any requirement, and at that point they just have to begin volunteering.
He says the administration wants to motivate Americans to find jobs.
This is about believing in the opportunity of individuals to move to work.
That can be very, very difficult for an individual who may be struggling against homelessness, may have no transportation.
Stacey Dean with the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities has been working on food stamp policy for decades.
I think we should be doubling down on improving that program and other key work supports, not weakening the safety net.
The new rules will go into effect April 1st. In Washington, Raquel Martin, KSNT News.
Well, despite those changes in Washington, a local woman is helping make sure that people don't go hungry in a unique way. Julia Keene is the owner of Rhino Fitness in Holton, and today she held a Burpees for Bites food drive at her gym. For every can that was donated, she had to do 5 burpees, and for every box of food, she did 10. You can see her doing them there. People donated more than 400 food items for the JCMA New Hope Food Pantry. That means altogether, Julia had to do more than 2,300 burpees.
For us to be able to just do something like burpees, which, I mean, I know they're awful, but to be able to do that and to be able to give like a meal for people that normally wouldn't have a meal, that really means a lot.
They are awful, but she's right. There's a good point there and a lot of heart in this. But Julia doesn't have to do all those exercises all at once. She completed 75 of the burpees at Dollar General, Walmart, and Farmers State Bank, which all donated to her food drive. She plans to do the rest of them by the end of this weekend. So she's got a lot of work to do.